So in this lecture, we'll talk about Nmap. Nmap is a great tool, but it's slower than NetDiscover. Nmap show you much more information about the target, shows you the open ports, the running programs or the services on these ports. You'll know the computer name, the OS running, and you'll be able to discover connected clients and bypass firewall security. And as I said, there are books and courses teach you about Nmap, and I won't be able to discover the entire map in this lecture, but I'll show you how to get started with Nmap and how to gather useful information about the target. So first of all, this is Nmap-H. Now as you can see, there are a lot of arguments and a lot of scripts in here to run. So at the beginning, it might be hard for you. Therefore, I will suggest you to start with Nmap. Nmap is the graphical user interface of Nmap. To install Nmap, sudo apt update. First, update the preferences, and then the password. Let me become root, and then apt install zenmap-kbx. Hit enter. It will install for you. Now I have it already installed. So therefore, once you install it, go to the application and look for Zenmap, and you will see it. So this is Nmap. This is the graphical user interface of Nmap, as I said. In here at the target bar, you put the target IP. No, any IP in here is a server, website, personal computer, IP camera. It doesn't matter. Any IP you might think of or any IP you might be able to get, you can put it in here and you can scan it. Or you can put the range that we just did before in NetDiscover. So 192.168.1.1/24. As I said, remember, we are scanning the entire network from 1 all the way up to 254. Now in here the profiles, now we have already here ready profiles. If you don't know any command about Nmap, you can take this command and paste it in the terminal and it will give you the same result as here. So these are the profiles. Now I will start with the ping scan. This scan is too fast. It just pings every possible IP in the range and will record the device and show it to us. Now there are a lot of devices don't respond to ping scan, but let's just start with ping scan. In here, as you can see, it took 2.19 seconds to scan the entire network as a ping scan. As you can see in here, this is the MAC address for, this is the router for me. And this is the host machine, MAC address, and its vendor. This is the laptop and its vendor. This is the phone, and this is the Xiaomi phone. And this is the Windows machine, the virtual Windows 10 machine. The next scan that I want to show you is the quick scan. Yeah, there it is. So the quick scan might be a little bit slower, but gives us more info. This shows us the open ports on, as you can see, this is an open port. It shows us the open ports on the discovered devices. The open ports such as 80. Okay, yeah, this is it. So such as 80. 80 because on the router, this is the router, as you see in here, 1.1. So why the port 80 is open on the router? Well, that's normal because this port is used for the router settings page because it runs on a web server. You can see in here the ports and the services running on these ports. This is the services, so 21, FTP, SSH, Telnet, domain, etc., etc. And for the laptop, the same thing, SMTP. The next scan I want to show you is the Quick Scan Plus. This one. So the Quick Scan Plus, this scan takes slower than the Quick Scan, but it will give you more information. We will be able to see the OS, the operating system on the discovered devices, and the device type, whether it's a phone or laptop or anything, camera, and the program and its version running on the discovered ports. So if we go down, yeah, as you can see in here. So for the laptop, it says port 25 is open, TCP, SMTP service with this version, positive X SMTPD. And another thing you might notice in here, as you can see in here, the OS now it shows Penguin icon. This is the icon for the discovered operating devices operating system. Now that's correct. I'm using Linux on my laptop. That's why it's showing a penguin in here. Getting the version is very important because you can look for exploit on this specific version. So like for example, let me just give you a quick example. So I take this version, I Google it, and I look for exploits on this specific version. So if I find an exploit, I will know how to exploit it because there will be a manual for it. So maybe through this exploit, through this version, because there might be running an old version, I will be able to exploit this entire laptop, for example, or hack into it, get a full control on the laptop. So look for open ports and their versions and look for exploits for these services. You can browse by these services on the left. Okay, in here, these services here will show you all the devices that has, for example, HTTPS, SMTP, or SSH. Like if I have more than one device has an open SSH, I would see all the devices with SSH service running on them in here. For example, FTP, domain, whatever, and whatever, etc., etc. So this is Nmap, this is Nmap. This is how to use it. You can feel free to try all the others, like this is slow comprehensive scan. This might take a little bit time. So you can try them by yourself. Look for open ports, look for services running on these open ports. Try to exploit them, of course, with the permission. Just do everything, try experiment hacking in your environment as I'm doing right now in here. So don't go and hack people without a permission and don't go crazy, please.